Hello, welcome to another video, and let's talk about Dragon Age The Veilguard. Now I know, don't click off the video, you've probably seen countless videos, countless just talk about this game. This game has become the most divisive game that I honestly can remember in a long time, especially getting like this much kind of publicity like stuff behind it from every which way since probably Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk, when that came, like everyone and their mother was talking about this game, which felt like it made sense because Cyberpunk had so much build up where, like, I understand that Dragon Age is like a big franchise, big thing. It's won a game of the year, which was a bad year, but oh well. But me personally, I haven't touched Veilguard yet. I know you might think, why are you talking about this? I'm not here to review the game, anything like that. I just want to talk about just everything with the game from an outsider's kind of point of view, I guess, if that makes sense. I've never played any Dragon Age game. I've just completely didn't even know they existed. I didn't know any BioWare game, to be honest, growing up. I never played the Mass Effects growing up. I've played through the first one, I want to say, through the trilogy remaster, whatever type stuff that they the collection that they put out, which I really enjoyed Mass Effect, if I'm being honest. I kind of like more sci-fi type of stuff. Wasn't fully into the fantasy world when I was a kid, when Dragon Age was, popping off, stuff like that. So that's why I just never really cared for it. I didn't play Skyrim. That's how much I didn't care about fantasy. But with that being said, I honestly just don't fully understand the amount of everything going around this game. Obviously, there is big elephant in the room about why a bunch of people, instantly hate this game and whatnot. I'm not really going to go too much into it because me personally, I don't think that, that kind of political stuff and people bitching and complaining about DEI ruining games and stuff, I don't think it is nearly as big of a deal as people push it as, it's this end of video games and stuff. I think realistically, at the end of the day, the people that make these video games are corporations that want to make money. That is all they care about. At the end of the day, that's it. That's really what it comes down to. And if a game is bad, and if it's because of whatever reasons, if it's bad, it's bad. It doesn't really matter. People are not going to play it / buy it. If the Veilguard is as awful as it says, that the bad reviews or just the people that are hating on it says, chances are if they somehow manage to, get enough sales and it is that bad, people are going to remember that and not give a shit about Dragon Age anymore. Whereas if it is good, well, guess what? People are going to buy it, like it, play through it, and then be excited for either DLC or the next game, stuff like that. So, editing Matt here. So, quick update on Dragon Age The Veilguard. It is currently, I think, right now, #1 top seller in Steam. The concurrent players for Steam was super high. It was the best-selling EA single-player game or something. It broke some records for EA and everything. So I think it's fair to say that the Dragon Age The Veilguard is currently doing pretty well. It seems like it's going to be fine. Look at you go. But I didn't know that when I recorded the actual video, so I just quickly wanted to throw that out there because I'm sure someone's going to comment, oh, the game's doing, amazing. Which, if it's a good game, I hope it does do amazing and that people really enjoy it. That's my quick little tangent of that. I'm not going fully in depth. If you're, one side or the other, I don't really care. I care about playing games. I care about playing good video games. And I've watched reviews that didn't like the game. I've watched reviews that liked the game. I've watched reviews that kind of unbiasedly didn't like the game for the game itself. I think are the most genuine, best kind of reviews. You should consume many different reviews when going into the, thought of buying a game. Obviously, you shouldn't just solely base it off that. should do your own kind of like mental conversations of like, do I think I'd actually like this game or not? But after seeing all that, I did have interest in the Veilguard, seeing like the impressions and stuff like that. I've, as I've gotten older, I've kind of liked fantasy more. I've become more interested in like a melee action type of game versus like I used to only play FPS games. Getting older, I've been more interested in playing that. So seeing the gameplay and stuff, yes, it doesn't look the best. It did look somewhat interesting to me, especially not seeing like full end game stuff, right? Just seeing like how it would work seemed interesting. But after seeing more gameplay, seeing more reviews, hearing more, clips of the game, seeing more thorough playthroughs of the game and whatnot, I have lost a lot of interest. Also, I'm playing Metaphor ReFantazio, which has been a great game so far. Definitely check that out if you're looking for like an RPG kind of game. It's a JRPG, so it's a lot different. It's a little slower. It's a little longer, which I typically am not a big fan of. But so far, I'm through the beginning, and I've only heard that like once you like kind of power through the beginning, it just ramps up from there. But after seeing more gameplay and more dialogue and reviews of the game and more, stuff about throughout the game, and it feels like it's not really going to be something necessarily I need to play right now. If it goes on sale at some point, will I try it out? Maybe. If it goes on Game Pass, sure, why not? But I don't know. There's a lot of things that the dialogue and parts of the game almost feel like they clash at times, and a lot of the reviews that I've seen and people playing and just seeing people play is like the dialogue and writing just seems super dumbed down in a way where it's like almost like people have to be talked to as if they are children. And I know this was like Skill Up talked about that in his review, which I think was a really good review talking about the gameplay. But then seeing other clips early in the game where it's like just like simple story beats, these characters are just sitting there hitting you over the head over and over and over and over again. Just the same thing. Like, oh, these gods are killing people. Or, like, different characters continuously bring up the same thing. And it's like, I know that. And listening to some of the dialogue, seeing clips and whatnot, it almost feels like it's a fantasy game where it's made for, like, the early teenage kind of demographic almost, and the graphics make it seem like this even more, because to me the graphics look really bad. It looks very childish almost, and some of the dialogues definitely feels very childish. There's obviously moments where it's not, and definitely like cutscenes and stuff, which is where like there's that clash where like you'll see someone get impaled, and then a few hours later you're talking to your party and it's almost like this little like group of friends just being all super nice to each other. And I don't know, it feels very, but that's just my first impressions of seeing a lot more of the gameplay. It looks like it's too spongy. It looks like you're sitting there doing the same thing way too long against certain like just enemies and whatnot. And I like certain games, not every game is gonna feel like, oh, 2 hits you kill like a mob. If you have a more elite or a boss fight type thing, obviously you have to work more. It has that, but it just feels like the mobs and everything are just more spongy, which that's never been something I've been super interested in. But completely forgot about a different kind of disturbance or conspiracy / controversy with this game, and it's all the review codes and whatnot that caused a huge stir of like, oh, certain developers, or not developers, certain YouTubers, content creators, whatnot, didn't get review codes that very likely would have in just like, or should have, I guess you should, like it would make a lot of sense if they had one and made a review before the game came out. The conspiracy and whatnot, I'm saying conspiracy and everything, you can't 100% guarantee it, obviously. Can you say it absolutely isn't the reason? No, right? So like, no one's gonna know 100% except for certain, I'm sure, EA and whatnot execs that if it happened, made it happen, and if they didn't make it happen. But there's the thought that they were more critical of the game during the impressions a few months ago, so they didn't give them a review copy on purpose, so that if they did make a review, it would be after the sale, so they couldn't make it before and kind of shit on the game to hopefully, in EA's head, not make people stray away from it, make people more happy to play it. Obviously, who knows? It would be really, honestly, if that did happen, terrible. Just obviously that there's in no way that is helping of the consumer if you're taking down what's a word I'm trying to think? Preventing certain reviews of your product that is going to be more critical of it, and you know it's going to be more critical. Rather, you completely eliminate those, not even hide those, show off and put the resources towards the ones that you think are going to be more favorable that end up being more favorable. It's terrible. Doesn't help the consumer, which are literally gamer. I'm a gamer. I want to play good games. So, obviously, if that's true, it's terrible. Who knows? There's a lot of, not concrete evidence of it. It's just like the thought of it would be really bad. Just be that's such a terrible just standard to have if that became some form of standard of cherry picking who would get to review your games. So, I don't know. That plus all the other politically kind of stuff and everything, this game has just become a giant fucking ball of just disruptance of the gaming world. Everyone has at least seen something about this game. I'm not going to be playing it. If I do, it'll be on my own time in the future when it's on sale, because the Monster Hunter Wilds demo is just opening for Xbox, which is amazing. I'm definitely going to be playing that. I don't know. For Dragon Age The Veilguard, the graphics look weird. The dialogue, everything I've seen. Obviously, I haven't played the game. Again, disclaimer. This isn't a review. If you're listening to me say this, don't let this sway you. Actually go watch reviews and watch people that played the game. I'm just talking from a complete outside perspective. I don't really give a shit. I'm here to play good games. Hopefully, the reviews that say it is good, it is an actual good game and people enjoy the game, because it's not a bad thing ever to have more good video games in the industry. To think that that's a bad, it's just fucking nonsensical. If it's a good game, people are going to play the game, they're going to buy the game, they're going to have DLC for the game, and yada yada. There's going to be another Dragon Age. The company wants to make money. That's what they need to do. It doesn't seem that hard. I don't know. I might just be fucking stupid, naive. Call me whatever you want. But me personally, my interest in the Veilguard has kind of fallen off the wayside with other games being out. Plus the fact that the dialogue just doesn't seem like it's, it doesn't seem like something I would enjoy. And the fact that it's a long game makes it feel like there's no way in hell I would be able to enjoy playing through that. The gameplay doesn't seem like it'd be engaging, make me excited to go and fight bosses and whatnot in the game, right? But I don't know. That's just my thoughts of everything with the game, what's going on with the game. I honestly can't think of a game that has caused so much of a stir in a long time, especially a big AAA game. It's been a wild week. Honestly, I'll say, because the reviews for the game started coming out, about a week ago or so. So that's going to do it for this video, though. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comment on what your thoughts are on Veilguard, the gameplay, how the game looks, if you've played it, if you enjoyed it, if you don't enjoy it, whatnot. Consider subscribing. Helps the channel a bunch. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.